In the last 3 years, we have seen unprecedented changes in society. These changes challenge every major paradigm that has shaped our lives, nations, cultures, and communities. It is during times like these that we turn inward for truth. I too began to question the meaning of my existence and the meaning of success. Often, through these quiet, contemplative reflections, we come to find our purpose, our giftings, and even, as some would say, our calling in life. I choose to use my gifts in the service of goodness for the collective. After spending nearly 3 decades in the world of direct marketing, I have witnessed a broad spectrum of changes in our industry. Having built a global organization that generated billions of dollars in sales, I have learned invaluable lessons in business and in life. I have been called to start a project that honors 2 words: love and contribution. I am building a global community that is focused on the well-being of everyone around us, physically, financially, and spiritually. With that said, get ready, for you're about to be a part of something meaningful, fun, and genuinely profound. It is time to get excited and rise to the calling of something far greater than what has been.
Hello, everybody. This is Samson Lee coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Very excited to be here today. Now, today we have a very, very special Zoom with a couple of very, very special people. So while time's wasting, let me just get to the point. Let me go ahead and introduce them. First, I'd like to introduce to our Zoom our THREE company Chief Science Officer, Dr. Dan Gubler. Hello, Dr. Dan. How are you today?
Hello, Samson. Hello, everyone. I'm fantastic. Good to see you.
Well, thank you. You know, we are very excited what you're about to share with us on this Zoom. Very excited because there's a lot of updates happening. And today, what we're going to talk about are, a little bit Q&A with questions from the field. So it'll be very exciting time. Well, to help us do that, we have a very special guest. This lovely lady just came back from Asia on her world tour. Please welcome Dr. Linda McCormick. Hello, Linda.
Hello. Very glad to be here.
Well, thank you so much. I know you just got off the plane literally about 3 hours ago. Well, folks, today we're going to have quite a Zoom. Because a lot of you out there now, as of today, let's take, what is today? April the 4th, right? 2023. Many people around the world are just starting to get their THREE products. And we are very fortunate today, of course, with Dr. Dan, with his extensive expertise in product formulation, and as our chief science officer leading the charge in creating amazing products with our company. And also we have our special guest, Dr. Linda McCormick, who is literally somebody with a huge scientific background, global director of medical affairs for huge pharmaceutical companies. She has years of knowledge and experience interviewing not only researchers, but scientists, doctors around the world, and how to create a better, to understand a better market of what's out there for pharmaceuticals and also supplementation. So thank you for joining us. So, so to start, yesterday we had a fantastic webinar, a corporate webinar, and Dr. Dan was on there and he had a few updates. But we've been getting a bit of questions. We want to find out a little bit more, especially about the amazing news of getting all 6 of our product in the PDR. And also, a lot of people don't know, but it has been announced that in the background, Dr. Dan has been working very hard building up the clinical research to back up our products. So maybe, Dr. Dan, you can spend a few minutes sharing a little bit more detail about those 2 things.
Yeah, so it was an exciting time. It was a milestone in the history of the company. Here at THREE International, we're a brand new company, 6 weeks old, technically still in pre-launch mode. So we're growing rapidly. And when it comes to science, science is a progression. We're working on things and we'll continually be working on things. As Dr. McCormick knows, in pharmaceutical companies, they talk about a pipeline, having things pushing through the pipeline. And that's what we're doing here at THREE International. And so as things pop out of the pipeline, we're so excited to be able to announce them. And that happened yesterday, where we have all 6 of our products in the prescriber's digital reference. Now, it used to be called the physician's desk reference, and it was a huge book that would sit on the desk of medical doctors. Now, a few years ago, they took it all digital, all online, so you could type it up and look at it wherever you are. And to have all 6 of our products in there is a big deal. There's no other nutraceutical company on the planet that has all of their products in the PDR. So we stand alone in that regard. So you should be very proud of that. It's something that you could talk with your medical doctors about. So in the PDR, there's over 1,000 pharmaceutical drugs. And the purpose of the PDR is to help medical professionals, to give them knowledge and to help guide them as they choose the best treatment, both proactive wellness and reactive wellness for their patient. And so a lot of times when you go to the doctor, you go there, you sit in the doctor's office, the doctor will ask you a bunch of questions and then they leave. And I always wondered, what do they do when they leave? Do they have to use the restroom all of a sudden? Or, do they have a lunch date, or do they have to check the score of their favorite sports game or something like that? Well, no, what they're doing is they are going to their databases, to their reference manuals. And they're putting in, Dan came in and he has a sore throat and his lymph nodes are not swollen and he has a runny nose, whatever. And then he or she takes all this information, they put it in the databases, and then they figure out what is the best course of action, what pharmaceutical drugs, what other products to give to the individual to help them to regain health and wellness. And so it's so exciting that now when medical doctors and other medical professionals go to the PDR, they now have our products are listed there. And so I just think that's so powerful. When you go and you talk to your medical doctor, you're sitting in the office of your medical doctor, you can actually show them that. And we mentioned it last night, but I think it's good to show as well. Let me share my screen to just show you how easy it is. If you go to your browser and all you need to do is type in, it's covered. There we go. If you type in pdr.net, it'll pull up the prescriber's digital reference. And so in this search bar, you could type in any drug name and it'll pull up information. But what's really cool is if you type in THREE, voila, our 6 products are there. It's a drop-down menu, so you can go to each of these. You could check out 3 Collagen. It has a description, what it's used for. It has directions so the medical professional can see what's in there. It has the recommended use. It has the standard FDA wordage, storage conditions, allergen statements, where it's from, who's distributing it, and then it has a picture of the product. And it has this for all of them. So this is really a big deal. And our products have always been medical grade and professional grade, but now with them in the PDR, it's really cool that our products sit in the same reference database as other products that medical doctors use to help take care of their patients.
Wow, fantastic. It's such a good news. We're very excited about that. Linda, doesn't that happen, in your line of work? I'm sure everything gets in there, right?
Absolutely. And I do remember the days when we had the big book on the desk and they would have to literally leaf through it and look something up to figure out how to use it. And so it's really exciting and great, unbelievable that we have all 6 products in the PDR.
Yeah. And we know that Dr. Dan and the company have been working very hard in the background, continuously providing these amazing documentations, certifications, and credentials for what we have in THREE. Another update I would like to, if you can share a little bit, Dr. Dan, is about a series of clinical studies that the company has gathered to supplement the information for the product. Can you share with us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the key pillars of THREE, there's 3 scientific pillars: exploration, curation, and absorption. And when it comes to the curation pillar, the whole idea of curation is grabbing molecules, phytonutrients. These are the medicinal molecules of plants, grabbing them and putting them in these unique, powerful combinations. That's really the secret sauce when it comes to development. And so what we did is we released the other day a clinical study dossier for all 6 of our products. And let me share my screen to give you an example of what I mean. So this is the clinical dossier for Vitalité. And each of them has a cover page, and it talks about these are the curated sources and clinical data that we used when we put together this formula. The intelligent design, the thought process, the clinicals that we pulled from, the amounts of the ingredients used, the combinations thereof to make this curated formula. This basically goes through, you can see this one here with Vitalité, it's 29 pages long. And in each of these, you see that it has a peer-reviewed paper. So you see here, this is a peer-reviewed clinical study on the effect of beta-carotene, which we have in Vitalité as a key ingredient in Vitalité, and one of the benefits of beta-carotene. You could then go through another one. We have another clinical study on folic acid and the benefits of folic acid. So for every ingredient that we use in our formulation, we have clinical justification. And we also have clinical justification on the delivery systems that we use, because we are a cellular absorption technology company. That's also our secret sauce. And we use many different cellular absorption technologies in producing and formulating these products. And so included in these dossiers are justification for the ingredients and the curation process, along with the cellular absorption technologies and their verification and power as seen in the scientific literature.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, like, I'm just a layman, right? I mean, not into the weeds like the 2 of you, but I'm thinking, like, if I go share with people, they can first look at it on the website. They need more information, go to PDR, and then obviously we can provide them with all these with these dossiers to go into the weeds. I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. What about Linda? What about you? Because you come from that space, you come from the background.
Absolutely. I mean, to say that, and when you see the list of ingredients in the product, it's nice, but if I don't know that these ingredients really are, powerful and backed by clinical science, that's when it really starts to mean something to me, right? And also the delivery system, it's huge. So to have that validation that what we're doing is backed by good sound research it's the best.
Wow, that's great. So I think people, a lot of distributors out there, they're like, okay, why does it work? How does it work? Okay, here it is. Here's all you want. Go dig it, right? Dig into it, right? Now, one thing is, we put this call together, especially for one of the main reason is that a lot of people are getting the product, they're starting to use it, but they want to know how to use it, what's the best way. And, we were talking in the background today, and, something just came to mind because it seems that, look, there's 6 products. They're designed to use to be used at the same time. And there's a lot of questions out there. Oh, do I take it in the morning? Do I take it at night? Do I take it with food? Can I absorb it sublingually? And what's the strategy, right? But then, Dr. Dan, you made a comment about the absorption technology, and I thought it was just a whole paradigm shift of what supplementation can be through this the science of the year 2023. Maybe can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so historically, when it comes to supplements, there's a lot of talk about you have to take it this time of day, you have to take it with or without food, you have to do this, you have to do that. And there's a long list of things, of do's and don'ts when taking a supplement. Well, the reason why you have a lot of those, or why other companies have those, is because they're trying to maximize poor absorption and poor bioavailability, because most of these medicinal compounds from plants are not bioavailable in the body. Dr. McCormick knows that. In pharmaceuticals, you talk about ADMET, and number A, and the letter A stands for absorption. That's number 1. And so in pharmaceutical science, you need to do things to make these organic molecules, which are hydrophobic. They don't like water. You need to get them to dissolve into the body, which is 60% water. And the blood's now over 90% water. But when you use cellular absorption technologies, all of that goes away. The products are soluble, they're absorbable in the body. So you can take them any time of day. You can take them before or after food. You don't need to fret. It's interesting. A lot of people stress out about, when they're told they need to take product X in the morning, and they wake up and they forget to take it, or they sleep in and they have a stressful morning. They're like, oh man, I forgot to take it. Now I need to wait till the next morning to take it. And no, the best time to take a THREE product, because of our cellular absorption technology, is when you remember to take it. That's the best time.
Wow, that's great. Well, maybe what we can do, for the rest of the webinar, let me get out of the way and let the 2 professionals talk shop, okay? So we did gather some questions ahead of time, and we'll let the 2 of you go through it. And Dr. Linda, can you go ahead and take the lead? And I will see you guys back toward the end.
Thank you, Samson. Thanks so much. And I do have to just kind of reiterate that there are some similarities between, my industry of pharmaceutical world and this nutraceutical world in a way, right? So the big difference, though, for me is that I treat sick people. I'm treating sickness, and it's kind of depressing in a way sometimes too, because it's very difficult, right? And finding cures is hard. You can find things that make you feel better, or maybe you slow the disease process, but it's hard. And where I'd love to be, and why I'm so excited to be here with you, is we're in the prevention proactive part of this, right? So that, and I think that third pillar, that absorption pillar, is just critical, and that's what really sold me to this whole journey. Because it makes a difference. I mean, yes, you can do the exploration, you find the great phytonutrients, you curate them, make sure you've got them, the best ones, and, able to be delivered, but it's that absorption. How bioavailable is it? That's what's super important. And I think that when we go out there and talk about this to the rest of our potential customers, we need to be able to differentiate ourselves from what's out there. And it's the true differentiator, I think, are these 3 pillars. So, but yes, I could go on. And I don't know if you have anything more to say about the absorption technology, but that piece is it's really critical. So
it is. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And the reason why we have cellular absorption technologies is you need to do different things for different molecules to get them in. Some molecules are really, really small. Some molecules are huge. So you need to use different technologies. And so, we're not a one-trick pony. A lot of people say, well, you use liposomes, right? Well, we do. And they're saying, well, is this product liposomal? Is this product liposomal? Well, liposomes are not the silver bullet. You have to do different things depending on the need state of the molecule and its characteristics. And so that's why we say we are a cellular absorption company, and we use all sorts of different types of absorption techniques. We use micelles and adjuvants and complexations and cyclodextrins and hydrolyzation and micronization. We can go on with all the different things that we use, but we have this tool set, this proprietary tool set, and it all comes back to absorption and bioavailability.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That is so different from anything else that's out there in this nutraceutical world that I've seen. So, but I would like to get to the questions, because we did have quite a few, that came in from the field. And I think, you kind of touched on it a little bit, like there's 6 products. Is there a specific order that we need to take them in? And I think you touched on that already, but.
Yeah, one thing I would say is actually there's one product. There's one product that we broke up into 6 different usage methods, I guess you can say, 6 different delivery forms, because really there was intelligent design when we went through and chose these products. A lot of people are saying, well, are there contraindications, meaning are there 2 products that don't play nicely with each other, right? So I shouldn't take them together. No, when we sat back and looked at this, we looked holistically. Well, what are the need states that we want to address? What's important for foundational human health? Well, obviously immune health is important, supporting healthy inflammatory status, antioxidant protection, etc. And then we broke those down. And so all of these 6 products are designed to work seamlessly together. And so they're meant to work together. They were born to be taken together. And so, yes, you absolutely should take them together. There's no contraindications, and it's a beautiful thing. There's no, taking too much or too little. If you take all of them together or separate, it's just a beautiful system.
That's fantastic. And that's exactly what makes this so simple. It's great technology, but it's simple, right? So we do have some questions too about the ingredients. Are they all natural? Is there any chemicals, even in the capsule itself? Is the capsule itself, what's that made of?
Yeah. So real quick. So chemical, if there's any chemicals in there, what we need to understand, we want to have, what we feel strongly here at THREE is we provide science-based solutions for proactive wellness, but we're also passionate about educating people, because health is just such a crazy mess nowadays, where you have influencers and people like this that don't have any credentials, that are saying this and saying that are totally against the scientific literature. But just bear with me, a 15-second primer. Everything is a chemical, right? When you have these molecules, everything's a chemical. So when people say, well, are there chemicals in your products? Well, everything's a chemical. It's matter, it's molecules bonded together. Yeah, these are chemical structures. Do we have any harsh chemicals in there? No. Do we have any, are things synthetically derived? No, they're natural, but they are natural molecules, are by nature chemical. So that's just one thing that I want to make sure we all understand. But yes, we use compounds from nature in their natural form in our formulations. And then when it comes to the capsules, so the capsules in our Vitalite and our, thinking real quick off the top of my head, in Vitalite, they're made of HPMC, which is hydroxypropyl methylcellulose, and that's a natural fiber found in plants. In our soft gels, in Revive, and in the Vitalite Omega soft gel, that's a bovine gelatin. And we needed to use bovine. A lot of people are like, well, why aren't you using vegetarian gelatin or whatnot. In making the soft gel, there's a seam. It's two halves that you put together. And if you use a vegetarian, vegan material like tapioca starch, it just doesn't anneal together. And so you're going to get leakers. And so powerful bioactive molecules like curcumin can get through that seam and can leak. And so that's why bovine was needed to form this really nice integrity of a soft gel shell.
Love that. That's fantastic. So we've also gotten some questions about kind of like, have you, now that the folks have been getting the products, we know they're trying them out and everything, what can we expect? What can we expect to feel and see and some of the, just some of the effects?
A lot of it depends on how deprived our body is of the nutrients that it needs. The body's an amazing molecular machine where there's millions of chemical reactions that it performs every single second. And so if you're devoid of a lot of the micronutrients, macronutrients, phytonutrients, trace minerals, etc., then you might have more pronounced effect than someone else who is maybe, eating a little bit better, exercising a little bit better. So it just kind of depends on where we're at. But for the thousands of people that have taken these products, what we've seen with Vitalité is when people take it, they feel energy. They feel just kind of a spring in their step. And I always laugh when people ask me, well, how much caffeine is in Vitalité? Well, no, there's no caffeine in there at all. And they're like, what? Well, I feel energy. Well, the mitochondria are the power plants of the cell. And so these nutrients, a lot of them go directly into the mitochondria and make sure those power plants are functioning properly. And if the power plant is having some brownouts, if it's not functioning to its top capacity, and then you turn it on to full maximum capacity, you're going to feel some energy there. So people with Vitalité, they feel some energy. With Revive, obviously, with muscle pain and stiffness and soreness, they're going to feel some lightness there. When it comes to collagen, we have people that see remarkable results with skin dewiness and brightness and just overall skin complexion after just 3 or 4 days of taking our collagen product.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's what you touched on something, in the beginning when you were thinking of what products you wanted to develop, you looked at that unmet need, what's the need out there? And then when you have these products, exactly, it's going to depend on the need as to what reaction we see in our own bodies. And then kind of dovetailing on that, we get questions about the elderly. So is there anything specific that you can say that the elderly might, need more of, or be sure if you have to choose, your grandmother is going to be on this product or the other?
Yeah, wonderful question, Dr. McCormick. When it comes to the elderly, obviously, one of the key things, so cognitive function is a big deal. And so Vitalité, that provides all the vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, chlorophyll, phytonutrients, to make sure that the body's continually getting that stream of nutrients, because cognitive function, it's so critical. It gets all those nutrients. If there's a lapse at all, then you can start seeing some declines there. So Vitalité, huge. Eternel is huge as well, especially with the 200 milligrams of resveratrol that we have. In those clinical dossiers, in the Eternel clinical dossier, there's a lot of clinical studies we included showing the ability of Eternel and resveratrol specifically in Eternel to support cognitive function, to help with memory recall and mood and mindset and productivity. It's really a wonderful ingredient there for that. And then also Revive is another great one when it comes to supporting a healthy inflammatory status in the body. As we age, the inflammatory status can change a little bit. It can move in the direction that we don't want it to per se. And so Revive, to help, again, proactive wellness, to make sure that inflammatory status is okay in the body, is a big deal, and we need just a little bit of inflammation. People think inflammation's terrible and chronic inflammation is bad, but we need a little bit of healthy inflammation. That's what keeps the body moving and growing and greases the axles, so to speak. And so Revive for the elderly is a really good one as well.
Great. Thank you. we also get some questions about specific ingredients, like apparently the CoQ10. What's special about the CoQ10 that we have in the Eternal?
Yeah, our CoQ10, we've combined it with a class of molecules called cyclodextrins. And as you know, Dr. McCormick, cyclodextrins are a classic set of molecules that's used a lot of times to increase absorption and bioavailability. So we take a proprietary blend of cyclodextrins and we complex that with the CoQ10. And these molecules love to glom onto each other. They associate with each other. And what's cool about cyclodextrins are schizophrenic in the sense that one part of the molecule loves water and the other part of the molecule doesn't love water. And so they assemble into these nice delivery systems. And so it's part of our cellular absorption technology. CoQ10 is not water soluble, it's hydrophobic. And so when you take CoQ10 and you mix it with cyclodextrins, you form this nice cellular absorption technology that increases the power and the bioavailability of CoQ10 significantly by about 5-fold.
What a difference than your CoQ10 you get on the shelf, at the drugstore, grocery store. So that's fantastic. What about for blood sugar and blood pressure? Any one of the products specifically, helpful for those?
Yeah, Eternal is a great one for both blood sugar and blood pressure because of the polyphenols that we have. We've curated a special blend of polyphenols in Eternal, and these polyphenols are really, really good at regulating both the blood sugar transporters and the insulin receptors that line the cell to make sure that the blood that goes into the bloodstream is immediately drawn into the cell so that the cell can use the nutrients that come from the blood. So, and especially because of the resveratrol. Resveratrol, again, nice clinical data on blood sugar control, insulin support, and also supporting a healthy blood pressure.
Right. And you can even look from an epidemiological perspective, populations that do have a lot of resveratrol in their diet, even, they just have lower incidences of diabetes and hypertension, right? So
yeah, that's right. When the Mediterranean diet is all the rage, people know about the benefits of the Mediterranean diet. And if you look at people who are on the Mediterranean diet, they have tons of resveratrol in their blood. Resveratrol and then olive oil polyphenols are the classes of molecules that are just coursing through their veins.
Wow, that's right. So we did get some specific questions about for women specifically. Can pregnant women use these products? Any special requirements?
Yeah, so pregnant, and I would include breastfeeding women. In principle, these products should be fine because they're natural ingredients from grapes, from turmeric, from healthy foods that you should be eating anyways, that we've extracted. We've grabbed the phytonutrients, extracted, pulled out, curated, etc. In principle, it should be okay. But super importantly, pregnant or breastfeeding women should consult with their OBGYN before taking any nutritional supplement. I feel kind of weird talking about this as a guy, but I have read scientific research, about how the body changes dramatically when a woman is pregnant, and the physiological changes can vary between pregnancy to pregnancy, where the body changes just so wildly. Some women become diabetic, some have super low blood pressure. There's all sorts of things that are really serious. And so they need to make sure that they consult with our OBGYN before taking any nutritional supplement. And the way to do it, there's a good and a bad way to do it. The bad way to do it would be just like, hey, doctor, there's this product that, can I take it? And if you do that, what do you think the doctor is going to say? The doctor's going to say no, but if you say, hey, doctor, why don't you look at this? I want to take this. It's listed in the physician's desk reference. It has clinical studies behind it. I could send those to you if you want. But, turmeric root, is it okay, where I'm at during my pregnancy if I take turmeric? Boswellia, is it okay if I take boswellia? Is it okay if I take grapeseed extract? sea buckthorn. And, what I found is that when you do that with a doctor, and when you break it down, doctors are just trying to help you. They err on the side of caution. They don't want to do anything that would compromise the health of their patients. That's the oath that they took when they became a medical doctor, and we love them for that. But we need to give them a little bit of help by giving them the details. So I found that that's a lot better to just go through the ingredient list with your doctor, pull it up on your phone, physically bring the product in and talk with them about it. And what I've seen when you do that approach, all of our products should be fine in principle, unless there's something severe, that's underlying based on the individual with the woman in her pregnancy.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing how you think your doctor knows all of that, but you probably know more if you've been in this, in THREE for a while and been reading up on some of these ingredients. You may know more than they do. You may have to educate them a little bit about what some of those phytonutrients are. They didn't learn about those in medical school. So
very true.
And what about the other end of the spectrum? What about the women in menopause? Any of the products specifically that you can recommend for that, or?
Yeah. So when it comes to hormonal support, regulating hormone levels, obviously those start to fluctuate. Vitalite and Eternel are really good at doing that. Purify is also a really good one. The microbiome starts to change, intestinal function, the intestinal lining can get a little bit on the fritz. There's some interesting papers showing that buildup of toxins, heavy metals, pesticide residues, pharmaceutical drug residues that build up over time in the body can cause issues as well, and so it's interesting that when a woman is nearing kind of the midlife 40s, 45 or so, a lot of times that's when some of these problems can crop up. Well, so during that time, that's actually when, if you haven't done anything to proactively work against that, all these residues that are building up, they kind of peak and crescendo at 40, 45. So it's really important to using something like Purify that helps to ensure the body's flushing out toxins. That can really help.
That's important for men too, right?
Absolutely.
So, and then what about for sleep? What about for those of us who have sleeping issues?
Yeah, Revive is a great one for sleep. Now you might say Revive. I thought that's just to support a healthy inflammatory status in the body, and maybe help with exercise, stiffness, soreness, post-workout recovery. One of the reasons that the body can't sleep is because the brain is not in a healthy inflammatory state, and so you notice when we're stressed, when we're anxious, when we're thinking about things, what we're doing is the brain is just working overtime. And as it's working overtime, it's producing these metabolites that can throw the brain into a non-healthy inflammatory state. And so when we take Revive and we make sure the inflammatory state of the brain is healthy and strong, that can help to make sure the brain can slowly, smoothly shut down, transition to the parts of the brain that turn on during sleep, and we can glide into a healthy sleep.
That's awesome. Because I have, especially with the jet lag traveling, it's just super important. And then thinking about all the work you have the next day once you land. And so for myself, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah. And so Eternel and Vitalite would be a good one as well. So those three products would be a nice sleep stack.
Yeah, that's great. And what about, I have a question here from someone who's a fitness enthusiast. So what should they kind of recommend for fitness folks?
Yeah, Revive would be the go-to there. The ingredients there: muscle stiffness, soreness, workout recovery, supporting healthy inflammatory status. There's also ingredients in there like sea buckthorn, which are known for endurance and stamina. Eternel would be good as well. Resveratrol and the other polyphenols in there have some really nice sport performance properties as well. So those are the two that I would go with.
Yeah. And it seems like, I feel like I can't, when people ask me, I just want them to say, you need all of them. You really do need all of
It really is, and that's what I said, when I was going back to the beginning, where really this is one product, but we broke it out into 6 different delivery systems or things you take, because really, yeah, you need all of these in order for foundational health, and I'm really glad that we have 6 products rather than, there's some companies that have 26 or 106 products. And it's just so hard to really help people live proactively when you have that many different products and that many different choices. And there are redundancies and overlaps and, older editions and newer technologies that are just kind of swimming together in the same pond. And so it's great that we have 6 products that are simple, foundational, dovetail nicely together. And it's just a beautiful thing.
Yes, yes. So that's actually all the questions that we had on our list. And I can't thank you enough. This has been awesome for me to hear. And it just really increases the confidence. Yeah, right. Let's go. How many of those do you have a day, Samson?
This is my 3rd one for the day.
Yeah.
I'm not in the weeds like you two, but I just love using it, and it tastes great. And put that down, so I'm not rude. But yeah, so far, actually, Dr. Dan, we've had in some of our chat groups amazing testimonials. Amazing. We had a gentleman, and I think we can just talk about it because it's no worry. So he works at a hardware store at Lowe's. He stands on his feet all day. He's about 70, Bill, and his leg was swollen, both of his legs. And after it's been more than a year, and he has neuropathy and pain, and he was on the Vitality for 3 days. Significant change, significant. Now he's walking around, he's telling all his co-workers, because some of them have the same problem walking on the concrete, and it's just so exciting. He's so excited to now to build his business. We're all just cheering for him, and there's so many people out there when the results come in, it's life-changing. It's life-changing, and it's just, walking around pain-free, that's amazing, for somebody like that. So we are very, very excited. And these 40 minutes have been so precious with the both of you. We must do it again. We must. Okay. And then we got to plan a bigger event, maybe a full hour. Also include some MDs. What do you think? Yeah. So
that'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, this concludes our webinar for today. And thank you, Dr. Dan, again. And thank you, Dr. Linda. You two are treasure.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So folks, look, right now, many people have gotten their products, thousands, and many people are starting to get product. And this webinar will just help them that much more. And I just, listening to the webinar, it is a paradigm change in what supplementation is, that what we have brought to the market. And looking forward to more and more good stuff from Dr. Dan and the team. So, and thank you, Dr. Linda, again. Thank you, everybody, for participating on the Zoom tonight. We will, put the recording up so that you can share with all your teams. So thank you very much. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all of you around the world. Said it backwards this time. We'll see you on the next Zoom. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.